Hello, everybody. It's me, Cameron. Hello. Happy Valentine's Day, or I guess like Shrimpentine's Day. Yeah. I'm not actually sure anyone's here, but that's okay. Maybe you'll pop in later. Either way, I'm super jazzed. I get to play my favorite game. Well, one of them. I have many favorite games, but this is definitely way up there. I love Apollo Justice. Both the game and the character. Also, look at my cute shades. Look at them. They wobble when I blink for some reason, but I think that's kind of cute, so I'm not mad about it. Also, there's something in my eye. Hold on. Owie. Is that better? Hold on. Okay. Got it. Okay. So yeah. We're gonna play Apollo Justice. I don't know how far I'm gonna get. Hopefully I want to get either through the first case, or I will keep playing until my bedtime, which is 10:30, because I gotta get up in the morning for work, yippee. So we're gonna, that's the vibe we're working on right now. Yay. So let's do that. Let's play a video game, yeah? Okay. Your boys paused. Alright. Okay. My mouse is visible. It will stay visible the whole time. I'm sorry if that's annoying, but I'm a person who likes to know where the people on the screen are clicking, so I'm doing this for me. So, you're gonna have to deal with that, I think. But yeah, so this is actually the Apollo Justice Trilogy. The original Apollo Justice came out like millions of years ago, before the dawn of time, and then Capcom didn't acknowledge its existence even though people loved it a lot, and then released the original trilogy like on every platform imaginable, and then some we don't even know about. So whenever they brought out the Apollo Justice Trilogy, which really isn't an Apollo Justice Trilogy, it's just like the next 3 games and Apollo happens to be in them. But this first game, Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, this is about him. This is his game. So this one is like my favorite, because he's my favorite. So, but this one also comes with, Dual Destinies, which was controversial for its 3D models. I have a lot of opinions about that. I don't think it was a terrible game. People love to say it was a terrible game. It had its charm, okay. And then there's Spirit of Justice, which I haven't played at all, actually. I know nothing about this game, other than, like, vague facts and details. I don't know that we'll be playing either of these other two. I would like to get through all of Apollo Justice. Wait, hold on, what's this 4th thing? Hello? Who are you? Who is she? Oh, it's the museum section. No, I don't want spoilers! Go away! Don't look at me! Okay. Okay, we're safe. We're back home. So we're gonna get started. My voice acting skills are not great, so I'll probably read off all the lines in a fairly normal voice, but we'll see where the day or night takes us. Yeah, it should be fun. Let's go. Yes. Hello? Oh, again. Thank you. Episode 1, Turnabout Trump. How about we don't? Maybe we don't do that. Oh, shh. That's good. Oh, I should be reading that, I guess. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Panicked, palms sweaty. I can admit it, I'm nervous. Good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. That explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. Screech? I can read. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. Oh, here she comes. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him, no way. Here we come, here we come, here we come. Yes, hello, hi. I'm normal. Who's this? Who's this guy? Wow, he looks like a guy. Whoa. Good, morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial. Nervous? Meeting him? Cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So you're... Fine! I'm fine! Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so why... You'll see. So mysterious. So mysterious, this guy. What's he got? What's he up to? Tell me everything. What's your star sign? Do you know astrology? I don't. Can you teach me? Do you wanna go teach me astrology? Right now? On that couch? It looks kinda comfy. You wanna go sit on that couch? Anyway. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm having a normal one today. Okay, I need to focus. Me too, Apollo. First trial. Here comes justice. You're so corny. April 20th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Look at him go! The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn? Why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Hi. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Ooh, it's Mr. Wright. Ooh, it's Mr. Phoenix Wright. Hello. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges. Mr. Payne? To think, I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. Hate this guy. He's so hateable, but like, in a lovable way. Like, you love to hate this guy. He's in every game, or like some iteration of him is in every game. Absolutely detestable. Hate this guy. It would not be an Ace Attorney game without him. Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was the pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Yeah, definitely grape juice. Absolutely. Just a bunch of grown men gambling and drinking grape juice. You see it all the time. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle added to the court record. Grape juice bottle used as the murder weapon. Bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record? Right, I've heard of that. Use E to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use E. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? If you're not acquainted with Ace Attorney, half these names are puns. So, if it sounds stupid, that's because it is. I believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That too is unclear at present, Your Honor. I believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing? That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least, not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. Ooh, he did. He looks good. He looks alright. I think he's fine. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? Ooh, he's smart. Look at this guy. Who made him judge? That's a crime in and of itself. Ooh, got him. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
Objection!
It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Or come again, dramatic. These cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. And impress women. Oh boy, you don't even know. You know nothing, sir. That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Oh boy, gameplay. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy. Alright. Sounds good to me. A pianist who can't play piano? Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Shut up! I'll eat your little hair curl. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? That's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? No, don't cover up his cute little face! No, we're gonna do the refresher course. Better safe than sorry, especially this early in the game. Yes, teach me. I know nothing. I went to law school for nothing. Indeed, your job, Justice, is to be mindful of the court record and the testimony. Look for inconsistencies in the testimony with what the court record tells you. When you've found an inconsistency, that's when you present the conflicting evidence from the court record with E. But I didn't hear anything strange at all in that testimony just now. A good sign that you need to press the witness with Q for more information. Press him? In court, sir? Sorry. Don't let the fact that he's a remarkable man hold you back. Get more information. But isn't Mr. Wright my client? Well, think you can do it? Yes, thank you, sir. I think I can do it. I think you better, or we're gonna have a problem. Just remember, find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies, lies, Phoenix Wright? Then who was flying the plane? I'm sorry. As if Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Oh boy. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I hardly play at all.
Hold it!
Let's press everything! You can hardly play. Look at him! Look at him! This is my favorite Apollo sprite. Look at him! Look at him! He is so cute! His little scrunched up face and his little pouty lips. Look at him! That's my son, but he's also like my best boy. I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about Apollo Justice, but look at him! Look at him! He's cute! He's cute and pinch his little cheek and pinch it. Just... Okay, anyway, cuteness aggression. Anyway, I'm normal now. But you can hardly play. No, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? Oh, he's thinking so hard. The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game, and our customers are happy. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget the press. Right, I got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. Press! They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all. Bah, I do detect pride in that statement. It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. Sick bird. What? I've played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once. What? You see where the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw. Yeah. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? Yeah, that's what that means, Apollo. As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and never lost once. Is that even possible? The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. Did we already press that one? Hold on, how do I, Okay, yeah, we already did that one. Okay. Let's do this one. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction. It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market? All in the past. Things like black market are the only... Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. Okay. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through a small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it could be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite its dark past, it was all good, clean fun. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Oh, there. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really, is it? Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. Hold on, let me get some water. Okay. This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game, after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime? Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand, and I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon.
Hold it!
Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. Sorry, that's my cat. Sorry, she's rolling around. She's really cute, but I need her to shut up. Hi baby, you're my little angel. Can you stop? Oh, don't come here. No. No, I don't want your attention. Can you leave? Can you go play with something? Can you be quiet at least? Okay. Let's try to be quiet, okay? Thank you. But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. Like, I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait. Even things that did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now what was it? Ma'am? Ma'am, please? Hey! No. Shut up. When you figure it out, I suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. The contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony? But why? I'd better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. Okay, we've read this already. My cat's going insane. Hold on. I gotta look at the court record. I forgot what was weird here. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. How do I exit this? Okay. Oh, nope, I didn't. That was the wrong button. I'm sorry. My bad. That was the wrong button. How do I get out of here? Okay. Let's try this again. Let's try this in a normal way. Okay, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. This one. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes? No, I pushed the wrong button again. How do I present it? How do I present it? Nope. Nope. Okay. Did I not present it? Hello? Hold on. Oh, okay. I can see it on the screen now. I'm just stupid. I can't read.
Objection!
It's in front of my face. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon. This grape juice bottle? Right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. We can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears, and our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove... Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. These are insane freak person fingerprints. Huh? What if the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down? Upside down? What does that mean? That means Phoenix Wright was upside down at the time of the murder. It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can only be one reason for that. Honk. Yes. Yes, to brain someone with the bottle. Oh! Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that... Really? Yes. Well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. He was flashing red. It was a huge medical concern. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above the ground. They also had a medical condition. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. And this is the phone that made the call? Right cell phone added to the court record. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. Ah yes, an old Nokia. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative? Can I save Mr. Gavin? I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How could you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Yeah, that's what that means, Apollo. Everything up till just now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? No. That boy ain't ready. He's never been ready for anything in his life. Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Oh god. Okay, this girl has an accent. I am worse at accents than I am at voices. So I'm just not gonna do it. So my sentence structure is gonna be weird as hell. Okay? So please bear with me. She has a lot of lines. I'm so sorry in advance. The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off. No, they won't. Never seen a more useless man in my life than Udgy. I love you, Udgy. I'm sorry, but... No. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure, it is okay. I should give her a cuter voice, I think. No, the prosecution. Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's paraphernalia? Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be...
My name is Olga O'Reilly. I'm employed as a waitress in the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how is it said, other service.
I take it one of these other services is taking customers' pictures?
Da. Like, for example, this one.
Bro, Phoenix got them slides. That's the defendant?
Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually.
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. Olga's photo added to the court record. The defendant and Mr. Smith at the Borscht Bowl Club. Well, any more water.
Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout we call it.
Excuse me? The hideout?
It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. His room where murder took place.
What?
Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post my courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want copy of.
So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga O'Reilly, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on and locked it at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, da. That man flew the victim and is strangling him to death.
Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
Objection!
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Oh god, Apollo. Justice? Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection? But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Doubt. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. I've never played poker a day in my life. This means nothing to me. These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? I love a chip. Duh, I mean, yes, imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils. I prefer Lay's. I'm partial to a good Cheeto as well. I have them ready. The poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Chips photo added to the court record, defendant and victim's chips when the crime took place. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game.
Hold it!
You were dealing cards. Do you do this often?
I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work.
It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Shut up, old man. Don't. Hey. No. Sorry, cat. Sorry.
Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitress.
Oh boy. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination.
It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da?
Hold it!
It's already April. How could it be cold?
At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic
Russian restaurant theme. That was too many R words. My brain hurts.
Outside it is a city in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia.
No way am I going in there. Me too, Apollo. I get cold so easy.
When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da? The victim, he plays full time with his hand on locket at his neck.
Hold it!
His locket?
I believe it was good luck charm, da? He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. Ah, gee. Okay. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape. It's considered that form to poke fun at the heart of hearing in our society. Heart of hearing or heart of understanding? So, what happened next?
Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, da?
Hold it!
Something terrible? Like you don't know. The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Miss O'Reilly, can you tell us what happened?
Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death.
Hold it!
But the defendant would never do such a thing! Apollo. Well now, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic. If possible, please, refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker?
Perhaps it is because defendant has lost game?
Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir, leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, J.D. Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got you now, O'Reilly.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game.
I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. Okay. Nope. Nope. Okay, maybe I'm not supposed to. I'm not supposed to do anything here yet. Let's see.
All the players play with hats on, The victim he plays will time with hand on his locket at his neck. Then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Man flew the victim and strangling him to death.
Oh, I got it. I used my brain. Yeah!
Objection!
I am acing this tutorial level. Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
Normal customers only choke on the borscht.
No, I mean this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss O'Reilly, really now, did you witness the crime? She catching that lobster? Good for you, girl. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit. Crime photo 2 added to the court record. Photo of forehead. Hat removed during investigation. That's more than his forehead, but okay. But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss O'Reilly? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. Okay. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for a game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Let's see. Let's try this.
Objection!
Oh no. The music didn't stop. That's bad. Nope, I messed up. I'm sorry, everyone. I failed you. He exploded me. I got exploded in the courtroom. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da. The victim, he plays full time with hand on locket at his neck. Well, maybe it's this one. Because he's not... yeah, he's not wearing it. Yeah, that's right. Right? Maybe, please? No music, let's go! You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Look at this photograph. Sorry, it's like, I have to. Anyone who plays this game has to. It's the rules. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket's gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say, yes? I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Yeah. I wonder what it could be. Anyone got guesses? I have no clue what this could possibly be. What could it be? What a mystery. Wow, if only we had a room full of attorneys to figure this one out. Wow. Oh? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? You confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence? Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game? Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost, badly. Miss O'Reilly, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Duh. The game began with 3,500 point and chips for each man. Health chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Ah, how many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I done. Why is he Southern? Bro, why are you like a cowboy? How many cowboys you get in here, Udgy? You get a lot of cowboys? Can I see? How many? What do they look like? Are they cute? Anyway, a common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. The game began with 3,500 points in chip for each man.
Hold it!
Are those the usual starting points? Were there any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game, usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be, exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Bro, I'm bad at math too. I would have taken even longer. House chips come in 2 sizes, small and large.
Hold it!
Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Duh, of course! Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Fish and chips sound so good right now. I like literally already ate dinner, but I'm already hungry again. Anyway, let's press harder. Maybe you can explain a bit about these chips. Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block. Not a motorcycle cop, but thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Yet, I've been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for a capitalist to understand. Oh, she got it! 2 types of chip. 100 points chip and 1,000 points chip. It is not money, that? Justice? Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add to her testimony? Yes. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness, if you would be so kind. Duh, Your Honor. One kind of chip is worth 100 points. Other kind is worth 1,000. 2 kinds in all. I press it. Yeah. Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you would want to say before raising your hand? We are not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. I better think of something to ask. And quick, the 2 types of chips. The small ones are 100, and the big ones are 1,000, right? Right, of course. Huh. Don't waste our time. Is that all? Yeah. Great. Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb. No, Justice? Please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? Who, me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten after all. Calculation. The one who was winning. Duh, it was victim. I don't think I'm smart because I just remembered this, I think. I think I'm supposed to do this here. Don't remember. I think I do this here.
Objection!
Yeah. You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure?
Objection!
It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the pictures enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct, let's see. 3 plus 1, carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. The big chips are worth 1,000 points, and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up. How much is it? Do it yourself. You weren't in kindergarten, are you? Why? There's a lot of talk about kindergarten right now. 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Great, there's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Alright. Yes. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can be only one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness! Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. I'm so bad at math. I remember the first time I played this, I got so stuck on this. I just I had to ask. I had to ask for help. Like, what am I supposed to do here? It's embarrassing. Math is hard. I don't like it. Don't make me do math ever. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. But wait. The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have a larger number of chips still. Y'all are missing the point. Y'all are being stupid on purpose. Ah. Exactly. If the small chips are worth 1,000 points, and the large chips are worth 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. Oh. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and, anyway, Phoenix wins. Yay! Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Yerg. Now, Miss O'Reilly, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you? Order, order! It appears the defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether... Excuse me? What is it, Miss O'Reilly? I did not want to be saying this, but... Actually, you see, See what, Miss O'Reilly? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? A ghost trick? Play Ghost Trick. Ghost Trick's a good game. Play that game. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. We'll see. Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was a cheat in last hand.
That is why game ends with chips as they are.
Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
The last hand, both men had full house. There was 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, the game becomes argument, duh. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand, poor Mr. Smith.
Miss O'Reilly, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover-up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make, in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? Me too, man. Wasn't that like that sitcom from like the 90s with the what's his name? The like hot uncle? Uncle Jesse? Oh my god, okay, anyway. Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker? I can't say this bodes well for your case. Or career. What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice? You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, right? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? Oh, I get it! Because Full House had the dad with... No, he had 3 daughters. Never mind. Well, maybe the 3 daughters are the 7s, and then the 2 uncles that lived with them are the aces. I don't know. I'm thinking about it too hard. This is not relevant. Anyway. You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow. They both have full houses. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defense may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? The last hand, both men had full house.
Hold it!
Just how hard is it to make a full house anyway?
It is quite hard, duh. It is making a pair and a 3 of a kind at the same time.
I guess that's right. Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head courtroom of courtroom number 3.
Very difficult, duh. But it is not impossible.
Okay, full house, hard, this line of questioning, a waste of time.
There is 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king.
Hold it!
4 of each card, you say?
Ah, there is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is interesting fact that this number 4 comes from number of seasons.
Huh, you don't say. Ah, and did you know that the cards are numbered 1 through 13? Add all the cards into a deck and you get 364, a year. Huh, you don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? That's why each deck has 2 jokers. Usually the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year, all in a deck of cards. Huh, you don't say. He's giving them the sass right now. We're gonna be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this.
If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious.
Hold it!
How was it cleared? She said obvious, not cleared.
The defendant. He played a 5th ace.
A 5th ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's too.
Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. It's 5 aces in all.
Hold it!
A 5th ace?
Ah, it should not exist, no? I still remember both hands very well.
Oh, I already did this, I think. Hehe, oopie! I was supposed to do something here. Wait, no. I didn't already do this. Oops. Anyway, I'm gonna get some water. Listen, I worked today. Give me some slack. Okay. Adding cards to a deck is no less serious a taboo than forging evidence in a court of law. Now, perhaps it's time for you to say something, Justice. You bet! I have no intention of staying quiet. Not me. No, sir. I better find some contradicting evidence fast.
The next moment, game becomes argument, though. The defendant's trick was exposed.
Hold it!
I see we are still in the pressing phase. I thought we were further along. My bad. Do you recall what the men were arguing about?
Ah, I believe so. The victim, he shouts, "You are a cheater!" And then the defendant shouts something like, "I have objection!"
Shouting objection, eh? Old habits are hard to break. First he bluffed his way through the courtroom, now he bluffs his way through life.
Objection!
However, Mr. Wright lost the hand. That seems to cast the shadow of doubt on Mr. Smith.
Humiliation from losing, even when cheating? That is what set fire to defendant's heart.
So what did the flaming defendant do next? Flaming? Is that like the best choice of words here? Calling Phoenix Wright flaming? Like, do you know? Anyway.
He took bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith.
Hold it!
By bottle, are you referring to this?
Ah, the defendant uses this bottle to...
This behavior is an admission of cheating by the defendant. But why use a grape juice bottle? You'd be surprised at what people can... Where did I get that from? You'd be surprised what can be used as a weapon.
This juice is recommended drink of Borscht Bowl Club, da. This year's vintage is remarkable for its hefty flavor.
Yeah, this is still grape juice, right? You know what happens when grape juice is vintage? Also, in the original Apollo Justice game, it was like for the DS, it was all crunchy and like pixelated. This like grape on the bottle, these grapes on the bottle were just an oval, so it was called Oval brand wine for a really long time. But now it's just grape juice, so rip to an era, I guess. Hefty enough to brain a grown man, apparently. First she says it was a serious competition, now she says there was cheating. Justice, notice anything odd? Her testimony keeps changing. Now she says the defendant cheated. Actually, yes, I had noticed that. Let's get the truth about this cheating first, shall we? Right, leave it to me.
The last hand. Both men had full house.
Is this where I start pressing? Yes, okay. Let me check the court record. Okay, not my attorney's badge. Although, hold on, let's hold on, how do I... I'm gonna look at it. How do I look at it? Can I look at it? Yeah! How do I look at it? Wait, my mouse? How do I do this? Zoom in, zoom out. There's a way to rotate it. How do I rotate it? With my mouse? Yeah! I got it! That's my attorney's badge! I went to law school! I did my homework! Look at me! Are you proud? Please be proud of me. It was very hard. Okay. I'm done with that now. Okay. Autopsy report. What was this about? No. Hold on, let me look at the statements again.
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. Mr. Wright's 2. Oh, right. Okay. Well, look at this again. Yeah. Okay, because Phoenix has 2 aces over here, and then there's only 2 aces on the other side too. So that's some crap. All right. Well, let's present that. That's exciting.
Objection!
It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name. Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? Here.
Take that!
Mr. Reilly, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Objection!
Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. Get him, Apollo! 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please! It is true! I have seen it, the 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you! That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards? The cards? Mr. Payne. Yes? The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? I don't remember how this is supposed to go, so let's just do this. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. Received evidence. Victim's hand. Victim Smith's hand was left at scene. A full house. Well, time's a-wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Oh, now you tell me. I had to figure that out on my own a minute ago to look at my own attorney's badge. I woke up this morning not knowing how to look at my own badge. Ain't that something? B and M, zoom in and zoom out. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. How do I rotate it? Oh yeah. Look at that! Look at this crap! What is this? Who is he? Who's this guy? Who invited? He was not. Bro thinks he was invited. Bro thinks he's on the team. Anyway. Well, has the defense found anything of relevance? I think I found out that I found nothing out. Perhaps you'd best examine the defendant's card before leaping to any conclusions. Or maybe you'd rather examine these cards one more time? Well, did I examine the other hand of cards? Did I not do it right? I thought this was the problem. Oh, I just had to... okay. What?
Your Honor, look at this! One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. Eh? Eh?
That's impossible! But I put that card in Wright's hand.
What was that, Miss O'Reilly?
No, yet. I merely said, that I have eek.
Your Honor? Mr. Gavin, yes?
Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker?
To cheat?
I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend. A comrade, shall we say.
The dealer. Wait, so you mean... this witness, Miss O'Reilly? She's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager. This poor lobster, dude. Not only is he, like, rotting in there, but he's being, like, tossed around. I'm so sorry, man. Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her mistake. Your Honor? Please recall the testimony we just heard.
That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand.
Ergo? Don't use fancy words, Apollo. You're just a guy. Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Sorry, I'm jamming. Okay. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, are you? Time for justice. Shut up. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. Wait, no. He's not guilty. No, Apollo Justice is not guilty. I read that wrong. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, of murder. Is the lobster okay? We need to know. He's fine. I mean, he's not. He's fine. He's okay. Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly? It appears she has lost, consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice? Your Honor? It seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means? This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it! I held out! I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Objection!
Oh, nostalgic. Mr. Wright, you can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? I think one of the cards had a different color back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Haha, silly clown man, look at him, honk his nose, honk honk. Stupid idiot. Just kidding, I love you. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used different colors and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, one card of the wrong color got mixed into the mix.
Hi! Hello!
I think, Thank you for the first comment. Hello. I hope you enjoy. I am having a lot of fun just playing, so... Also, look at my glasses! Aren't they cute? Anyway, I'm gonna get back on with the game. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises two serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? I am the cutest. Thank you for noticing. I think in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are three broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. That is literally the entire expanse of time. That is all of the time that could have possibly happened. But okay. Go off, Mr. Wright. You clearly know more than me. I know. Hobo Phoenix does something to my brain. I can't explain it in words or in a way that is appropriate for YouTube. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were solved? Oh, wait, hold on, why are you awake? You, I see you, I'm making eye contact with you right now in chat. Why are you awake? Well, I appreciate you being here anyway. When was the card swapped into the deck? Let's see. When was the card swapped into the deck? Bruh, I don't... Is it 8? It's literally 8:30. I don't know what time I thought it was. I don't know. Wait, when was the card swap? I don't remember. Do you think I know things? I don't know anything. I'm just a little guy. I am a grandpa. I'm actually already kind of getting tired, but I want to at least finish this case or play until like 10 or 10:30. Whichever happens first, I guess. Oh my god, I forgot to feed my animals. Oh, okay. Actually, hold on. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta go do that real quick. Give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go feed my animals real quick. I'm so sorry. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. I am back. Sorry about that. Haha, they're fine. That explains why the cats were freaking out. Rudy was napping. He didn't care. He doesn't really care about most things. No, not me name dropping my dog. Forget that happened. Forget that nothing happened. Okay. I don't remember when. I don't remember anything that just happened, so I'm just gonna pick something. Yay! Perhaps it happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly.
Objection!
Maybe I'm silly-pilled, Your Honor. Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. There's a lot of silly in this world. I'm most of it. Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Oh, did I accidentally pick the right one? Nice. I mean, I picked that on purpose. I knew. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight onto crazy. I ask again, what is the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga O'Reilly. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? It's none of you hoes. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga O'Reilly either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Uh-huh. Go on, Kristoff. Who do you think it is, then? Yes, I know, but she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun this all is. Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss O'Reilly, then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. Sorry, I had to pause for effect. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're gonna tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card? Because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right, the person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. What? It was Germa. Can you imagine? Like, it was like not even like a sprite, like a photorealistic image of Germa. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Ooh, what are they gonna do in his chambers? Haha, twirls my hair. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. I'll get more water. I got a sippy. Oh, big sippy. Oh, very cold big sippy. Okay. Whew. Okay. Yeah. April 20th, 11:52 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. You suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well, no. I think you would know the answer to that. Shake your little fruity little head. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I've no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice? Yes, sir. The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. I love this painting of the judge in the back. It is not good, but it's like displayed prominently. You think his granddaughter painted that? I don't know if there's lore for this painting, but I'm inventing lore for this painting if there isn't. His granddaughter definitely painted that. Anyway, you did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket? Here, you can take a look at it. It's a picture of my daughter in there. Let me see. Baby! Baby, 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 baby. Oh my god, look at her. She's so cute. No, bring her back. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. Oh, maybe we will. I would like to. I want to meet her. I want to meet her and I want to look at her cute little face. I'm getting emotional. Shut up. Okay. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did? It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest, but it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable resource for information. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Miss Aurelia? She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who'd notice that? Words, habits, twitches, it's all information for the reading. That's the secret to yeah. Let me try that again. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will, soon. Almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. Fine, boom. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I'll be there, I promise. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cards of steel were that special. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. Oh boy! It's time to grow up and put on my big boy pants! My bright cherry red big boy pants. Yeah, I'll save for the first time in like an hour and 40 minutes, sure. That sounds good. That sounds good, let's do that. Okay. Yeah. I want to go on to the next chapter. Who do you think I am? Quitter? Sometimes. I love quitting, but not right now. April 20th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again? That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Back at it again with the balancing the lobster. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. Ooh! She cutie! Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like O'Reilly. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Gorse Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game, as a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim? Cahoots in orange, like it's like a normal thing to say. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles, but winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. It was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright, and put him in a very odd position. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards! Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Cahoots. I think we should bring cahoots back. I think we should start saying cahoots again. I would actually genuinely enjoy that. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt upon all his prior wins. A 7-year legend, destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly. Oh really? Can we stop with this? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. She's still cute when she's evil! Girls can be evil and cute! Hate this guy. Okay, she doesn't want to be cute. Never mind, I take it back. Not all girls have to be cute. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad. My bad. I'm sorry, girly. When you're through being bad, perhaps you can testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to, and Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no-good, cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? He's so cute with his little frustrated, squishy face and his little poking his forehead. He's so cute. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. This planted card, which card was it exactly? The trump card, the 5 of hearts. Let me guess, Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 of hearts with an ace to make a full house? At least, that's what you're going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend. I slid it into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers. Remind me never to go there. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early to allow allowed to thicken. Never had borscht in my life. Maybe I should make it. Is it good? Has anyone here had borscht? Is it good? What's it like? Like, I'm not super picky. Is it good? I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. So, everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. Tell us what happened with this search. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The card disappeared? Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace. Poof, Zippo. You searched every nook and cranny, did you? Like in the room or on Phoenix? Because that holds some implications. Even inside his cute little hat. His hat is cute. Thank you for noticing. His hat is very cute. But the card was nowhere to be found, is this correct? Never in my long, storied career. Never has Quick Fingers O'Reilly been so readily duped. Oh really? So, what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? Wow, she's big mad. So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... something's happening. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? Yeah, the vibes are whack, dude. No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes, always. Mr. O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You... Me? Quick Fingers O'Reilly hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. I saw it with my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? That's more like her ear, maybe? I don't know. Touching her neck, was it? Oh, I think I forgot to turn flash off. Oof, okay, if you're sensitive to if you're photosensitive, please be very careful moving forward. If you need to stop watching, I understand. I'll be more careful if I pick this back up. The sensation, it's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before. I'm perceiving. Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself? Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe that weapon left an inerasable impression on your neck. Let me start there. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. It's the bottle, baby! Oh, wrong button. Excuse me.
Take that!
Hello? Cat story. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were only witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, I am knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. You went back into roleplay mode. Like a little hermit crab. The witness will testify, please. Now. Where does the lobster go? Like, where does the dishes and the lobster go when she does that? They're just, like, on the floor now? I'm really concerned about the lobster. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there.
Hold it!
You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came. Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is garbage! Hot, steaming garbage. It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence. What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. Whoops. I'm just pressing buttons, y'all. Okay. Oh my god. Someday I will press the right button, I think.
Take that!
There we go. I did it. And so really, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Oh, why was the lobster on the ceiling? Who put him there? They are not supposed to be on the ceiling. For the record, lobsters should not be on the ceiling. I don't know how much y'all know about sea life, but I'm an expert, and I'm telling you lobsters should not be on the ceiling. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Arg. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right. And he hit me. You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. When I came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it? Oh, that was the judge. My bad. I gave him too cute a voice. That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with the bottle, and I'm imagining all this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin? Sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with their client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. There's like 8 people in this room now. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder, and the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This theory again, your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Look at him, he's so cute, he's blushing. Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right, but how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here, in our court, who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear. We know it's not you, you're useless. Who is this fourth person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? This dramatic ho who thought that he could write poetry in the beginning about the backs of the cards being wreathed in blue flames. Y'all remember that? 'Cause I remember. I remember his drama. I remember the antics. I love it. I love a dramatic person. I love using flowery language for absolutely no reason. So of course I remembered.
Take that!
As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right. Christoph Gavin. You were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent flash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph? You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. He got him. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. Me when I'm doing completely bonkers things. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly. Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Haha, you dug your own grave. Get rotated. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Gulp. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Yes! This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. They do, Justice. You would betray me, your teacher? I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well, the defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. Appetite before murder. Fruity. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. J.D. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder. I dine with him rather frequently. Oh yeah? Do you? How frequently? What kind of restaurants? Do you ever eat at home? Who cooks? And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will. I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice? Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright? This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? My boy Apollo Justice never catches a break. You think this is it for him? Like, he's having a hard time now, and then he's gonna, like, start doing better later? No! No! He's doing his best, and it is never kind to him. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in his photograph.
Hold it!
You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dined with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying the usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual. I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So, the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that, J.D. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left.
Hold it!
5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it you said? Kristoff, Gavin, and J.D. Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was, all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall? That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress.
Hold it!
About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga O'Reilly mentioned. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. It was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. Like, quirk? What kind of quirk? You got like a... Never mind, I'm not even gonna make jokes here. I happened to put my hand in my pocket, and I found a card. The card she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Dispose? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card beside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. A bottle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. It sounds like terrific drama. A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. Yeah, grape juice. Grown men just gambling and drinking grape juice. Like I said earlier, it's a wholesome activity for the family. Just like a deep freeze, grape juice, borscht, and poker festival. Yeah! I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. Let's take a look-see, please. Oh boy. There's nothing in there! She's empty! Not a drop left. How sad. Do I still present it though?
Objection!
Maybe. No, I don't. I don't present this yet. That's cool. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Please explode me! Explode me! Please explode me! Yes! Thank you! Unfortunately, I'll have to penalize you, Mr. Justice. I must be on the wrong track. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. What am I supposed to be doing here? Do I press this? Did I press this? Oh, no I didn't. Okay. Why in the bottle? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. Oh, so you struck first. I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith is uncontrollable. I left to call the police.
Hold it!
You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
Hold it!
And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now. Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with his testimony? The truth has to be in here somewhere. Okay, is this where I present the bottle? I feel like I'm supposed to do that. Was I just too early? Let's try it again.
Objection!
No, it's still wrong. Okay. I guess I'll use my little shrimp brain. Yeah, I got exploded. Close the card bottle. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith's uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. My little brain. Oh, I'm trying so hard. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table and this photograph. Maybe I should look at stuff, maybe. Yeah? Maybe I should look at things? I didn't look at this, I don't think. No, that looks normal. Yeah, that's still empty. You need some clues here. I'll kill you. Photo, forehead, hat removed during investigation. Hat on. Oh! What does that mean? He got his hat on, right? Is that something? Hold on. Let's see. Let's see if that works. If presenting that works. He was dead, blood drained from a cut on his forehead, but he had his hat on his head. So how do you know that? How do you know that, Mr. Phoenix, right? Huh?
Objection!
No? That's nothing? Bro, I'm gonna beef this. I genuinely don't remember how this goes. Hold on, I need more water. Okay. I'm getting kind of eepy, but I must stay strong. Okay. Well, let's yuck. Maybe I should do a little this action. Alright. I don't understand. My little baby brain. Help me. Forehead. Sub-basement. Deadly bottle. Is it this one? I don't know what it is. I'm stressed out. It's gotta be one of these three, right? One of these three things, but I don't know which one and where to present it. Do I present the other photo here? I got nothing better. I don't know. We'll give it a shot.
Objection!
Is that it, really? Okay. Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice? Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Yeah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one that put that hat on his head. Eh? You? You put the hat on the dead man's head? Yeah, I like dress-up games. He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why would you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Mr. really didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. So no head. Here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through the case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. No, not again! I had to figure another one! And so I have Kristoff left. I discovered the trap during this game and disposed of the card in the bottle. The girl's knife got cold, Mr. Smith was uncontrollable, let's call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from my cut his forehead. Stopped and made another phone call, the defense turned again. Man! That's all I got, dude. Now what? Wait, let's save again. Alright, that's a good idea. Prisoners walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. There is something there, but I don't know when I'm supposed to do anything with that. Am I supposed to do the bottle now? Our conversation was not about the bottle a minute ago. Blech. Bruh, I don't know. Please, someone tell me I'm stupid. I'm too stupid. I'm too stupid for this tutorial level of a game I've played before. It's been a really long time, okay, be nice to me. I guess they all say that, huh? Let's look what we've got. QAM. Go low forehead. Creepy bottle. Photo of forehead. Not removed during investigation. Right, cell phone. Attendant Mr. Smith at the Forest Polo Club. Do I do it now? Do I present this now, even though it's like the exact same thing? It's the only thing I can think of. I'm probably wrong. Let's find out. That's the wrong button.
Objection!
Okay, so that was wrong. So we're we're gonna Alright. So that clearly wasn't it. Do I present the bottle here now?
Objection!
Also no. Oh my goodness, I'm really bad at this. I genuinely have no clue. Girls not got cold and uncontrollable were left called the police. He was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And then the phone call, please not trying to go. Ooh. I'm gonna throw up. What is it? Someone tell me. No one. There's nobody around to help. A picture of a gif of Bob, I think. No, is it? No. Yes? No. It's what's the purple cat's name? Is it Bob? Yeah, it's Bob, right? Bob, and he's like dancing. He's like, there's no one around to help. That was funny a couple years ago, I think. Whoops. Somebody hold my hand, I'm scared. I'm like 5 seconds away from just grabbing my phone and looking it up. Would y'all judge me? Would you judge me if I did that? I'm going to take a very conveniently timed bathroom break. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a really conveniently timed bathroom break. Yeah. I don't know that that bathroom break did anything for me. If we're being honest. But we're gonna do our best.
Hold it!
Something. Okay, yeah, it turns out I did not press this statement. Wow, I'm really good at video games. I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment easy. No, I did press this. Now what is the problem here? I have every trick, like, trick in the book, they don't work on me. Okay, well... What am I supposed to do? I feel like I'm supposed to do something with this. What? There are clues here! There are so many clues here! Oh. Okay, well I just didn't click it in the right place, I guess. Oh, I forgot that was a problem with this game. Oh no, okay, well I'll have to... Okay. I guess. Okay. No, not that one. Do I present it now? I'm scared. I'm so scared.
Objection!
Okay, yeah, that works now. I didn't look at the bottle good. My bad. Mr. Wright, if I may, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm silly. I'm just a silly little guy. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No? What? Mr. Wright, surely... ... isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. The sass on this man. Oh, good night. Good night. Sweet dreams. Sleep well. I hope your Valentine's Day was pleasant. Thank you for spending some time with me. Bye-bye. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So, what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Hoodwinking? What kind of word is it? What kind of vocabulary do you have, Apollo? Or did the card just disappear? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. So the gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china... pate? I have no idea. It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please, the cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Bone china plate? A kind of porcelain, very smooth and shiny, and not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club. Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? Oh, that's right. Yes, that was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Order. I will have order. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for cross-examination. Are we all clear on that? Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. Whew! These boys is a mess. Hold on, get some sippy. Hold on. Oh man. You guys ever try water and you'll drink water? I don't normally like it, but like it's kind of hidden right now. I like spent my whole life in it, and I'm like kind of sick of it. But that's all right now, honestly. Yeah, I'm a water hater. I'm one of those people. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Oh, it's her! Oh, it's her! Yay! Yippee! Huh? What? Hello, sir. Please pick a card. What's all this about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all. An ace. Where do I remember that card from? Bruh. I ain't been here for like 2.5 hours. You would forget about the poker game. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. It's 5 aces in all. It's true. I've seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. The card says Capcom Osaka, Japan. Are they in Osaka? Is that where this is supposed to take place and not in Japanifornia? Like the localization would like you to believe? The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? It's ketchup. You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. Huh? This blood-stained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. She's a baby! She's a little baby, and her hat and cloak are a different color to show that time has passed. Bloody ace added to the court record. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Court Courtroom number 2. Now, Kristoff isn't at the bench with Apollo anymore because he's on the stand and like that. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Kristoff Gavin, will you please take the stand? Him big. Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Will the witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
It's Phoenix! He's on our side now! Hey, I like your side profile and I like your gigantic boobs. Big fan! I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright, what do you think you're doing, right? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? He's so cute in this sprite. Look at him! I wanna give him a kiss on the cheek? I don't know. I trust him he has kind eyes. Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh. When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Thanks, Dad. Mr. Gavin, I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? Oh boy. We're getting places. Whew, some big stuff coming up. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Bright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. Uh-huh. Convenient. So, you witnessed the murder? For better or for worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. Oh, hold on, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Whew, okay. My cat was doing stuff that she didn't need to be doing, so I had to go get her. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. That's the game, buddy boy. Good luck moving forward. It does not get better. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. Man, that man? You mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. So then, you knew the true nature of your client's job? Of course, but I also knew he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Sorry. Oh. I love you, boy. I love you, boy. Oh my god, he's obsessed with me. My cat's obsessed with me. Stop it. No. Look here. Look here. If you want to be in my business, go back in here. Cat in lap. Are you happy now? Is that what you wanted? There's cat in my lap now. Okay. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score. I see. What happened then? Oh, she left me. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout.
Hold it!
The little window? You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The Black Marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go to the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far, everything he's saying makes sense. It must have been right after the murder took place.
Hold it!
How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. Erg. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Oh, there he is. The coolest defense in the West we know and love. Love? Love? What do you mean by that? Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo.
Hold it!
By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand.
Hold it!
Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Yes, as far as I saw at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Objection!
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime. Justice, I just said I saw no one, not a soul. But that goes against what Mr. Wright said. Ah yes, this mysterious fourth person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose? Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us the reason why such a thing would be necessary. How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace. Right. Well, Mr. Justice? The question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason? I suppose I come into court and they're always like, show evidence. You gotta give us evidence that stuff happened. Like, can't I just like show up and be like, hey, he did it, and people trust me? Like, my vibes are good, right? Am I not trustworthy enough? But alright. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. And go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace?
Take that!
My reason is, this. Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade. What? This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? That's mine. That is, I picked it up at the 4th Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all.
Objection!
No. Impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? take another look at the photo, and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Objection!
Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Well, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see.
Objection!
This is baseless conjecture. Baseless.
Objection!
Oh, you point. It's him. It's Beanie. Hi. Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. Okay, everyone, get your screenshots in. I know you're a big fan of when things are based. What? It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite trimple. That was me, I added that. You're welcome. Well, Apollo. Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Oh, I read that a little bit late. Oh, we're 3D now. Wow, a third dimension. Look at that. How come Apollo Justice gets 3D before I do? Unfair. Just kidding, he's been waiting like 100 years. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with the scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Trimble. Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? It was the victim.
Take that!
Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You'd think that any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. F. Take a look at the photo again. If you bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Do you mind, ma'am? You have to come in here and jingle your little tags around? Like, is that necessary? There's a whole house. There's an entire house for you to do your little scratchy then. You gotta do it in here? Yeah? Yeah, I know you gotta do it in here. It's okay. Alright, you have to forgive my cat. She's my baby. Why, that's right. So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Recreate the crime scene. Oh boy! How do I do that? How do I... Hold on. There we go. The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be. So, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away? It was the killer.
Take that!
The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? I'm marking it on the diagram. What? But there's no room to put on the mark where the killer should be. Don't worry, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front?
Take that!
The killer had to be standing, well, here. You get points for flair, but that's about all you get. I thought I was onto something there, too. I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Huh. It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. You should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor? What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright. I do my best. He do belong in the courtroom. But let's forge ahead here, while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this? What is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears they found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime?
Take that!
About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah, that's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin. What did you say? Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court? Exactly. Where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of law, and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bull Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there's a secret passage behind it. What? Ah, yes. I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. The secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops. And enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. Yikes. It's not looking so good. Do you see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith, a date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. What? Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Miss Oldor really was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealers. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor, and the fact that they were all red. Oh, get got. I'm a little sad though. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Work. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Objection!
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken by such low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence.
Objection!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course, this bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. Fingerprints on the bottle were upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court, in this case, demanded an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down, and that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how the codfish squirms to the last? Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle, still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation, just like that. Yeah, just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? Me too, Apollo. Hate when people talk in circles. Just say words at me, please. It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice? Mr. Gavin said that the court and this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court? What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle were upside down? I remember this one.
Take that!
It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yeah. Now, reach down and pick it up, without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck, with your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow, I can't believe it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Order, order, order! What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle? Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, as I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes. I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottle from under the piano at the Board Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. Are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if anywhere on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. But that bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright, that bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. Look at that. The card's in there. Look, there's five cards. That's it. We got him, boys. Lock him up. There's something inside the bottle. What's this? That card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Unpleasant woman. Be nice, Phoenix. Her job was sketchy, but she was just part of the hustle, you know? Miss Olga, really? Yes, our little swindling devochka? Hopefully that was right. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost that hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I think I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found that it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice that I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh, he's having a normal one. Oh, the lobster's back. Oh, and he's gone. Goodbye. That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. I get it, because it's Apollo, and then he points his finger, and his name is Justice. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little, I'm not, no, right? This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? Oh, he's third wheeling. Fourth wheeling? There's a 4th attorney in the room. I believe this time we've finally come to an end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report up for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? Or none that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession, to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed 2 things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Hee my boy special! My special boy! Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. Woof! A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Oh, he looks like a puppy. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty! Woo! Yay! 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 They couldn't afford more than 4 colors of glitter. That's so sad. Court is adjourned. April 20th, 4:28 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. They missed 4:20 by 8 minutes. That's so sad. Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything in there. It was you who cornered Mr. the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability? Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. So cute. What's up, baby? Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Huh? I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. But the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. You testified. You said the locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. Ooh, he's slick. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yeah? How about coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all, there was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial, there was a single piece of forged evidence? Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. It was a card with the blood on it. Nope, that's the wrong button again. I refuse to learn. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it as a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Ugh! I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that," next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. Yeah. That's my dad. My dad, but I also think he's hot. That's messed up. But it's okay, because he's not real. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. But not a bad first trial, though. I love whenever the first trials have like a big plot twist. Right, yes. Please save. If I forgot to save, I think I would actually explode myself. Okay, we are not going to return to the next episode. We are not doing that. We are gonna call it a day here. I'm very tired, but I had a lot of fun. It's really fun revisiting this game. It's been a really long time since I've played it. Obviously I remembered some stuff, but I also forgot a lot, so that was kind of embarrassing, but I guess that's how it goes, yeah? But yes, I would like to finish this game. I don't know if I want to try and do this weekly, or like maybe every other week. It really depends on what else I want to do and how much time I have. But I do really, really want to finish this game. I want as many people to know about it as possible because it is very special to me, especially the later cases. I dreamed big and I was like, what if I got to a point in this game where I met the love of my life, who is in here. We haven't seen them yet. And then that didn't happen. We are right up to my time limit, and nope, I'm not going back in today. So maybe next time we'll be able to see them. Until then, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. I have work in the morning. It's my bedtime. I gotta go do a sleepy sleep. But I hope you guys had a pleasant Valentine's Day. I know it's a touchy subject for some people, but it's never really been for me. I personally am an aromantic person, so this holiday has never really meant much to me. I've kind of been using it as more of an opportunity to like express affection for my friends and family and like my pets and like anyone around me that I care about, including now anyone who stops by to watch this or anybody who popped in the chat for a little while. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm really happy I got to experience this game again with y'all. So yay, I had a good day. Even though I worked, I think this was a success of a Valentine's Day for me. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm really tired. So good night, everybody. Stay crispy. Bye.